Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocketradio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
It is Coffee Ann on Labor Day, Monday, September 2nd. Thanks for joining us. We're live. This is Joe Callahan. That's Dave Richards over there.
Hi,
Dave.
Oh, hi there.
He's live, too. And former mayor of the town of
Pinch me,
Cumberland.
be sure.
Bill Murray is here. Good morning to you there, Bill.
Good morning. I think I'm live. I know you dragged me into this.
He's looking more alive than I am, I'll tell you that.
Well, you know, see what happens when,
bright and cheerful.
when you walk by the station sometimes.
Yeah,
Oh, come on in.
that's it. Get the hook.
All
I've
right.
had the hook before.
We'll ask a sports question right off the bat for Bill. You okay with Jacoby Brissett starting on Sunday for the Patriots?
I think it's I'm not, but with the condition of the line, the offensive line, I think it's a good move.
The porous line?
Well, if you look back at it with Jones, when he got destroyed, all his confidence was broken. Why do it now?
Oh, right.
I mean, it's if you can't get that line in good
Built
shape.
up. Mm-hmm.
I watched a football game last night, and the LSU was supposed to have the best offensive line. Southern Cal beat them.
Southern Cal beat them. Okay.
Yeah, and the quarterback was running for his life.
Okay, so that's an issue.
Yeah, so I think it's a good move at this point.
All right.
I don't think it's going to last. I don't think.
I think Brissett's going to get hurt.
Yeah. Well, I'm not even going to go there. I think he's not going to perform, and it's going to get to a point where the birds are out. Yeah.
Okay. It was brought up over the weekend and about the Boudreaux brothers in hockey. Tragic accident, the bike accident that they were in, and I didn't realize until I was listening to until Kevin's sports show, it was the day before their sister was supposed to get married.
Yep.
Wow.
We heard the news. Two actually, both boys. My son had some connections. Michael, who played for Calgary, and he was signed by Calgary. This Goodrow, he didn't know him personally, but he knew people. He called some people that knew him. Outstanding young man, and but a tragedy. I mean, it's just you get. He had just had a second baby in February.
Yeah.
His brother's wife is pregnant with their first. I think it's the first baby.
Right.
And his two guys, they're out exercising, riding their bikes. And here's this guy,
alleged drunk driver,
idiot. And if you heard the story, he was being impatient because there was a SUV in front of him who moved over to the left, and he thought the guy was playing games that he couldn't go past, on the left.
On the left, so he went to the right.
So he cut into the right, not seeing obviously not seeing the two bikes. Plus, he's under the influence, and it had to be bad because they were both deceased at the scene. So he's just the old Johnny. They called him Johnny Hockey.
Yeah.
So he was in. My son was filling me in on it. He was the most valuable player in the Hockey East for 2 years in a row at Boston College.
Did he win the Hobie Baker?
Hobie Baker, he won. Yep.
Okay.
So and forget all that stuff,
hockey,
but it's just a tragedy. It really is.
It is. All right. So I had to remember because I got a message to say, okay, next time Bill's on, you got to ask him this question. And it's
serious.
It deals with Cumberland.
It's nice to be anticipated.
Yeah. And I don't know if you know the answer, because we were talking about the whole last time you were here. We talked about the whole Mendon Road overpass bridge over 295.
Right.
And when is this thing going to be finished? And it goes, well, what about when you're coming down 295 going southbound? The orange barrels are out before you get to 295. Now the exit. I'm sorry, coming down 295, the orange barrels are out before you get to Mendon Road.
Right.
Now the exit is still open.
Right.
But you have to get over into the middle lane or into the left lane while the orange barrels are out. But when you pass the exit ramp to get off, but before you get to the bridge, the barrels end. So we don't know. The question is, why are the barrels even there? And I said that I don't know.
Got to store them somewhere, Joe.
Let's ask Bill. I don't know if Bill's going to know because it's a DOT thing.
Yeah.
So, but
because they're not doing any. Well,
can you picture it?
Yeah, I've been through it.
Yeah.
I know it. It's first of all to go off of that exit, which I've done a million times. is you better know it, because all of a sudden it's on you, and you
Yeah.
see as you come off past Diamond Hill, which is the one before.
Yeah.
The road narrows to two lanes, and then you have to go off at the exit. And then, as you said, the barrels are further down. I would think it is because of when they're working under the, on the bridge itself. They don't want it depends where they are, and I don't know because it goes on. But I'm sure
look at it next time, because even if they are working on the bridge, you can get back over into the right lane before you get to the bridge.
Okay.
And it's just it's
I just went
bizarre.
by it this morning.
And you see it so often you don't see it.
No.
It's a bizarre set of circumstances, because the barrels almost start right after the Scott Road overpass.
Yeah.
And
that's what I said.
Are they working on that bridge? I don't think they're working on that bridge.
Not on this side. You mean.
Yeah.
On the east side.
Yeah. So, but then the barrels start. Okay, we got to
Yeah.
get over. Okay, the exit's open, and then.
But I thought the barrels.
But the
past
barrels,
the exit there.
they do go past the exit, but then
Well,
they
they
end
stop.
before the on-ramp
Yeah.
people come on, and they're like, why? You haven't even reached the bridge yet with
Right.
that they're working on.
Yeah. Well, because they're, that's the big question is, when are they ever going to finish the southbound to get to the
Yeah.
northbound? And I think I mentioned, because I was told, and I think it's fact, they were going to do Diamond Hill, and they're now holding that off, which was a problem, because when I was the mayor and we were doing the roundabouts, I couldn't understand, and I've had many conversations with the higher ups, is why don't we do it all?
Do it all
Instead
at once.
of doing it and then now coming back. It's in our plans. That's all. The answers was, that's all I got. And what kind of an answer is that? But now you're going to have that, and that's going to be a disaster when they hit that. But they must have figured it out. We can't have both areas, because if you remember, there's only two parallel roads that run through Cumberland. So that could be a real.
Can't have them both down at the same time.
Yeah,
so.
that's exactly.
I was telling Dave last week that the Mass DOT was working outside my house, milling half the road.
Yep.
At nighttime. Love that. Midnight outside my house.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. But it's been a week. It's been over a week now. They haven't come back. They haven't done the other side of the road. And I'm like, now I'm not an engineer. Obviously, you got to wait for some reason. But what's the reason? And how long
They
does
want
this
you
take?
to rest up, and then they're going to come back again, so you can't sleep. Wouldn't you say, Dave?
That's probably what's going on in their evil minds,
Yes,
Joe.
they're evil minds. It's a conspiracy.
Yes.
I can tell.
Against
I'm
Joe
like,
Callahan.
I said, when are you coming back to do the other side of the road, or put the road back that you just took off?
From my experience, if you could figure out whether it's Mass or
All
DOT
right, it doesn't
or
matter.
Rhode Island, forget it.
Yeah.
Don't even try. It's one of the most frustrating things that,
Let's do a quarter of the job,
no.
leave, go somewhere else, start
Yeah.
another project, and eventually, like you said, we'll circle back.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
on the list, and we'll
Yeah.
circle back to it eventually.
Yeah, they plan it, but how they plan it is another situation. It's crazy.
And
It really
you know what
is.
else they did? Because when I was able to see it in the daylight, they milled part of the road, and then stopped, and went about 50 feet, and then started again, and
They
milled
left
some of the
part-
road
left
and
part
left
of it.
and left some of it. I'm like, who decided this?
Yeah.
Who thought this was a good idea? Well, anyway, we all have our little crosses to bear, right?
Well, you do when you come to highway repair. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
that's right. That's right. I'm just glad because when I'm driving down 295 South and I see the message board that says, new traffic patterns, and I'm like, is this going to affect me?
Well, look at the
And,
one you drive it. The one I can't figure out is is coming south on 295 on 95 and getting off at 295, but on the left-hand lane they narrow it down. I don't know what they're doing there. That's been a while.
Mm-hmm.
You probably don't notice it because you get over to the right.
Yeah.
I'm assuming, but you watch next time you're coming down that way. Look at it again, because just before the off ramp onto 295 to the left hand side, that narrows down, And if you hit that wrong, you could be backed up past 495. Many times.
They're putting in a new on ramp from 295 north onto 95 south in Attleboro. They're building
why
a
are
new
they
one.
closing the left?
I don't know.
Okay, that's
because I've seen those signs.
Yep, no.
And they you got
That's
to
the
merge
one-
over.
That's the one that bothers
Unless
me.
you're getting onto 295, and I get off onto 295, and I don't bother with what's
No, if you hit it
doing.
wrong, that traffic is bad.
And it's just, it seems like it seemed like it was going along fine, and
Right.
things were moving along, and okay, this is going to be in relatively soon. I guess they're going to make it easier for trucks to get onto 95. I'm not sure, but now things have come to a complete standstill.
I could buy that because that off ramp to 295 from 295 going south is a bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I've taken it for years, and so I can understand it, but I just can't figure it out. I'm not an engineer, so I'm not going to try.
And then there's the other one. Okay, when you 295 south to 146 north, okay, and that's open, but they're digging up in that median between the two on ramps.
Yeah.
And there's a digger in there. Just I see him with the lights on and
Well-
just digging. I'm like, what are you doing here?
Well, here's a new one. I noticed it this morning. Is that if you're on 146 and you know the new overpass?
Yeah.
Now, just before the hockey arena,
Yeah.
they've got those lanes closed down.
Oh yeah,
and
you
they
got to pick a lane.
And you better know where you're going.
Yes.
Because if you're going to the hockey arena and you're not
You better
from
get over
this,
to the right.
you have to.
Yeah.
As though you're in no man's land. And the shame of it is that you get a lot of visitors that don't know the area. I know it.
Yeah.
But how bad is that going to be? And then I can't understand. I looked at it this morning. They seem to be doing the work in the
In the middle.
middle. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess you would call it the middle. Because I'm still confused about where the next ramp is going. I'm not sure. I think we talked about it the last time,
Yeah.
and I don't think anybody knows. There has to be another ramp, overpass
Another
at Sales
bridge going
Row.
over.
Yeah, yeah.
Think you got it figured out, Dave?
Dave,
No.
have you?
No, okay. All right, I was
Dave,
letting-
Dave doesn't.
But yeah, if you
I find it quite entertaining.
but yeah, if you
that people get so excited about these things when you know that there's a master plan, but they wouldn't tell you what it is because
They don't know.
that's what that's what you'd expect them to do.
Yeah.
well, if they want
That's called flexibility, Dave.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, if I'm wrong, if I tell you what my plan is, and it blows
Then
up,
I'm
now
stuck,
I can't.
I'm
yeah,
stuck
exactly.
with it. If it doesn't work out,
No.
I'm holding the bag.
Imagine being a parent and you're trying to bring your child to that hockey rink because they
Oh.
get a game,
Oh yeah.
and you're in the wrong lane.
You're
Now you're going up over the bridge.
and you don't know the area. Well,
And
no,
you-
you won't go up over the. Well,
Yeah, if you pick
well,
the
if
wrong
you
lane.
get over to try to get to the hockey arena,
But if you missed it,
if you
and
missed
now
it,
you're going over the
yeah,
bridge.
That's true. Yeah.
and then
If you go over the bridge, you're doomed
you are
because now you got to
because
go.
now you're on 146.
Well,
Right
Nobody-
now you got to go to Park Square, do a U-E, come down,
If
go to
you-
116,
but that's
come
if
back
you
up
And then
again.
come back
that's-
again.
But that's if you stay to the right and know to go
5
to Park
miles out of the
Square.
way.
If you don't go to Park Square and now you're on 146, still going north,
Well,
you can get off at like 104 if you know the area.
but if you're smart, if they're smart, I'm talking to hockey people now.
Yeah.
I don't know. Danny Facette used to own it, but he doesn't anymore. I would have them put a sign up at Sales Road. You take a right.
Oh, you can take a right
You
there.
take a right, and then there's one more road
Right.
that takes you back
That's
behind
right.
the hockey
After the
arena.
veterinarian thing, they got
And-
the
yeah,
dirt
exact-
road there.
right.
But
Yeah.
if you still go over the bridge, you're still
Oh
out
yeah,
of luck.
no, but I'm saying if you're, because it's confusing.
And there is
What
no
I
sign
saw,
on
I
it.
didn't watch because I was
Yeah.
moving pretty good.
And that's the only road we used to use.
Yeah.
That
When
back
it came
road
in the
in?
back.
Do you
Yeah.
remember? Okay, I'm going to go way back.
Yeah.
Remember when they had their own road that went into the hockey arena? Not that road. You don't remember that
The
one?
dirt road in the back.
Well, it was a dirt. Yes, it was a dirt road.
Yeah.
I remember it well because I was running the Cumberland hockey program. We used it, a lot. We had about 800
It
kids
was
in the
originally
program.
the construction road.
Right, but and I'll give you the one because I played in an old timers league. He's smart. Gerard is the one that built that.
Mhm.
I don't know whether you remember that name, but Gerard Contracting built that arena, and it was the state of the art at the time. And don't even ask me the date, but that road was built.
It's going to be like 74.
And after about 5 years, they had nothing but headaches because it was kind of, they built it, but anytime it rained, the road would, it was not the mud, it was collapsing.
Oh, was it?
And they eventually had to close that down for, permanently.
Wow.
And it might have been that I think North Smithfield probably got in and said, you can't use this. It was a tough road.
Yeah.
It was never built right. And so they closed it permanently. But
all right. We got to take a break here on the Coffee and program, and more coming your way. If you want, you can call in comments or questions at 766-1240. It's Coffee and on ON Radio.
You've heard it before. The world is getting smaller. Places you had to travel to years ago now seem right next door. It's no surprise, then, that all the communities of the Blackstone Valley have so much in common these days that we share common interests. Keeping up with this trend, the Blackstone Valley's two daily newspapers, The Call and The Times, have joined forces to cover the entire valley in one convenient newspaper. The Blackstone Valley's Call and Times, a paper for the entire valley. At your local store, honor box, or home delivery, 767-8522.
The Coffee and panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee Roasters. All that coffee is roasted right here in Rhode Island. Down East Coffee Roasters is available at all Little General stores. It is Coffee and on ON, AM, and FM. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here with Dave Richards and former mayor of the town of Cumberland. Bill Murray is here as well. Well, we had a bit of an incident on Friday night in Bellingham where there was an explosion at a local gas station, and 4 people hurt, 2 of them critically, all with burns. They were all taken to the burn unit at Rhode Island Hospital. This was on South Main Street in Bellingham, which is actually relatively close.
That's the extra?
It was Save Us something?
Yeah, Save a Lot.
Save a Lot, something like that. So when you go to Crook's Corner and you take a left, now you're on South Main.
Right.
So it's about a quarter mile up on the left.
the ones that were hurt were the ones that were working on the pumps.
Yes.
Yeah.
The injured are employees of the company that was
Right.
contracted to perform maintenance on the gas pump. Caused a vapor flash fire from fumes inside a manhole. Bellingham police fire officials stated fire are still investigating the incident. Okay, so the Save More
More?
gas on South Main Street took place 6
I've
p.m. on
stopped there
Friday.
before. It used to have pretty good prices, but you take a look at the difference between the prices in nearby Massachusetts communities and Rhode Island communities, and there's not the big difference there used to be. So
Not as like it
no,
was.
well, either they just charging more in Rhode Island, or charging less in Rhode Island, or something. I don't know what the I don't know what the books look like, to tell you the truth. But it used to be, it was always worth, because, get 15, 20 cents a gallon less in Massachusetts. Just go to Blackstone or Bellingham.
Yeah.
You don't see that difference anymore.
Well, I paid under $3 on
Where?
on Saturday in BJ's on Route 1 in Attleboro.
Oh, yeah, well, that's a club thing.
okay.
That's not
Yeah.
available
Yeah.
to the public.
Yeah. I think
Unless you're in the club.
Right.
I don't know. I think I've.
Oh, you can,
That-
but
I think I have filled up.
Stop and shop. I mean, you got to be part of the club, or you don't stop there.
Maybe you don't get the good
No,
price.
you don't get the best price.
Oh yeah, you can
go.
get gas. Okay.
See, my wife has a BJ card.
Yeah.
Same thing
We
with-
own half of BJ's, by the way.
Someone's got to keep it in business.
Something, the Cumbies are the same.
I know.
All right, the price is,
Right.
well, this is the club
It's gotta be
price.
better be in the. I'm part of the club in Cumberland Farms, so.
Oh, isn't that wonderful? Yeah, well, I can understand why you would be.
But I can look in Cumberland where I live.
Yeah.
Where the Chapel Four Corners is, and that Seasons there.
Yep.
And they're $3.34. It's
Well,
a
when
big.
you're right next to the interstate, I
It's
suppose.
a big difference. Oh yeah,
Keep them up a little
that's
higher and
exact-
still do the volume.
They
But
always
if you're
do
in
it.
a neighborhood,
Yep. Nope.
take a look at our two battling Gassies here
Right,
on
the road,
Park
Park
Avenue. They're down to 309, and Sam's always given the Gulf a heartburn. And you just looked at this over a period of time. Sam will just drop it and dare them not to. And a couple of days go by, and they finally get corporate
drop
lets
it.
them to drop their price.
Yeah.
And they get that gas from the same tanker trucks, by the way. You think that this says Gulf, so it's one company. That says Citgo, so that's another. No, they get it from the same depots. I mean, you know who told me that? Murphy from Murphy's Gas over on Social Street.
He gets it from them too, I guess.
He says it's the same dang
gas.
trucks. He says, I got a guy across the street, Shell's giving me heartburn. It's the same darn trucks.
Yeah. It depends what they. There's a one in Cranston, and he's cut his. He's almost given it away, just to bust everybody's chops. And it's like,
why not?
Not
well,
yeah.
Now,
are there 2 gas stations at Chapel Four Corners still?
There's
Seasons
and Sunoco.
Okay,
yeah.
Are they battling back and forth in price?
I don't go there.
Okay.
I go to Seasons for other stuff, but not the gas. They were because we had again when I was mayor, I had a few incidents when Season moved in there. I cut the ribbon for them.
Oh, okay.
That's quite an operation.
Seasons
The ownership originally lived in Cumberland, right near there. I can't think of their name. So, very nice people. It's a woman and her husband who are running it now, but it was her father and grandfather who started Seasons, and they're all over the place now.
So I guess that's the rule. Cumberland Farms started in Cumberland with the Hasiotis family, so you got to come to Cumberland and start your convenience store chain.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it works out all right.
They do. They have one again. They have one right down there. They fight BJ's down in Attleboro.
Yeah.
They're right down at end of Dexter Street, Highland Avenue, rather.
I remember telling them because there's a Seasons Corner on Diamond Hill Road here in Woonsocket, and we went in to tell them because they had opened up a few months before Autumn Fest came to let them know what was coming, the parade and like that. And they, thanks. They had no idea what was coming and how the roads are going to be closed off and things like that. Geez, thanks for the update on that. So great. So the hotel workers in Boston are on strike.
this is a rotating strike. They're going to hit different cities in a rotating basis.
So if Providence goes on strike, Boston goes back to work? Is that how that works?
No, Boston goes back to work, Providence goes on strike is what's more likely to happen, although they haven't.
Right.
They haven't illustrated their plans with clarity. They just know that they've got 4 other major cities standing by.
Ready to go.
And this was a national thing all across the country.
So is this,
wasn't just Boston.
Is this just Hyatt?
No,
it's a union
Hyatt.
thing.
Oh,
and
Marriott.
I saw the name Hyatt on the TV. That's
Hilton,
That's the big
Marriott,
name.
Hyatt.
Oh, they are.
Yeah,
the big names.
The big names. Yeah. So they're on strike in San Francisco, Seattle, and Boston, but Baltimore, New Haven, Oakland, and Providence are ready to go on strike.
Right.
So it sounds organized to me.
They ought to move out of San Francisco. You see the football player that was shot?
Yes.
Tried to rob him?
Yeah, he just
young rookie, very good. I think he was #1 draft choice for San Francisco, wasn't he?
He just got out of the hospital.
Pearsall or
Pearson?
something?
Yeah.
Pearson. He got shot in the chest.
Yep.
And so a 17-year-old kid tried to rob him. He fought back, and the kid shot him in the chest. I think he's going to be okay, but that's another shame.
He's the wide receiver, Ricky Pearsall.
Yeah, Pearsall.
He's now out of the hospital.
Yep.
The team released a statement. The 49ers, Pearsall is heading home as he recovers from the bullet wound to the chest. He is a rookie.
Yep.
Rookie receiver was walking in Union Square.
I think he was #1 draft.
Does anyone know Union Square in San Francisco?
Try
No?
not
Okay.
to.
Well, when a TJ suspect attempted to rob him in the ensuing scuffle, both were injured. The juvenile remains in police custody pending charges after being treated at the hospital. So, wow. Yes, I got a note in because my brother Kevin knows all in sports.
Kevin does?
He was San
What made
Francisco.
him an expert?
He was, I don't know. He says he was San Francisco's first-round pick this year.
Tell Kevin.
Number 31 overall.
Kevin, thank you for backing me up on that.
What Kevin doesn't know, he asks Pat.
Yes, and Pat gives him the information. That's right. So, yeah, getting out of San Francisco. And it doesn't say, will he play this year?
No, there's nothing's come out about he. I know his mother came out and said that he was very lucky that it didn't hit any major organs.
How did he miss the lungs and the heart?
It would have killed him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Right in the chest. And they had a picture I happened to see on TV of him walking to the stretcher.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, so
Athletes are tough. Some athletes are really
well,
tough.
they're in very good condition,
Well,
and
yeah.
that might have been a help if it was. Well, if it was me, first of all, it'd be tough getting through the fat, so I probably would have been saved.
All
Bullets
right.
have a way.
Yeah, yes, I know.
All right. If you're gonna set up fireworks, maybe you shouldn't set them off next to the cinema, outside of the wall of of a cinema, because that's what happened
They cleared it,
in
yeah,
Warwick,
right.
and they thought it was gunshots.
Right.
And now we have to evacuate the building.
Yep.
And so 27-year-old Justin Crespo allegedly set off the fireworks, and he was found shortly after and basically admitted to doing it. So he was taken into custody. He did admit to setting off the fireworks. He's been released from custody pending a court date on charges that include possession of display and aerial consumer fireworks. And I heard that people were let back in to the theater to finish watching whatever movie they had gone to go see. What a pain.
So if you hadn't been in there, you could have followed the crowd back in and not paid it for a ticket, right? Does that make sense?
It does make sense. I
Okay.
don't know if they were asking people, no, show your ticket and your way back in. Well, I threw
Well,
it out.
how many? I left my stub. I threw my
yeah,
stub
threw it in the
away.
front.
Come on.
That's right. So,
But it also proves what a sick world it is out there.
well,
now.
yeah.
It's crazy.
I don't know if he was expecting this as a result, that this would happen with the place being evacuated. Maybe he's just looking to set off fireworks because it's fun.
Right.
Yay. And oops, they were a little too loud.
But he's
And
20. He's 27
He's
years
27.
old.
You
Come
think
on.
you know
Give me.
Know a little better?
Yeah.
Well, it's an open area. You probably figured it was safe.
Maybe.
Pyrotechnically.
Next to the side of the cinema.
He
Yeah.
doesn't want to be seen. Maybe he's standing there, I don't know, throwing them.
No, these are
what-
aerials.
Oh, that's right.
Oh.
Yeah, right.
He's
Just not thinking, Bill, is what it comes down to.
I,
And that's what he learned. Well, you don't set them off here anymore.
huh?
I won't set them off here anymore.
No.
I got to go someplace else.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Let's see. Offshore wind. Ørsted expanding its U.S. headquarters here in Rhode Island.
Well,
Let's see. They're moving to Exchange Street in downtown Providence.
mm-hmm.
I think they'd move closer to the water.
That's the headquarters. Why?
Why?
Why were they?
Well, they're building the wind farms off the coast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know that, but why? If it's the headquarters, why move near the water?
They need. No, well,
Move closer
it's a
to the
comment that it's near the water.
No, it's
they're
well,
moving. They're moving from a small place to a huge,
much bigger place. Yeah.
I forgot the square footage on the office they have
17,000
downtown.
17,470
Over
square feet.
17,000 square feet, and where they're
Oh,
going
okay.
to.
All right.
Yeah.
So they're going to be able to pre-assemble pieces. They're going to be able to, right,
And they want
put
to
them on a boat, get them out there into
Yeah,
the
yeah,
water.
yeah.
they want to double their staff.
So what you?
From what to what, it doesn't say.
So they're probably the only ones that are lasting. Isn't it the New Jersey ones going bankrupt? And there's a few
Could
of them
be.
that
Wind
are really
turbines?
yeah. And so I was on the Cape this past week,
You see any?
and in Dennisport,
hmm
and they are livid over there
Oh, yeah.
because of.
Because it's
Yeah.
all washing up on shore.
Well, that's exactly.
Even in
we-
Newport,
the
it's washing up
beaches-
on shore.
So I talked to the general manager of the place we're right on the beach. He didn't have any problems, but they've closed at least 8 beaches because they have to get
Of
it
debris?
clean. They got to clean. They don't want people stepping on it and whatnot.
That's right.
Yeah.
And
It's a
they're
hazard.
not getting any cooperation, according to this guy.
From the wind turbine
From- no,
companies? They
they're-
don't want to come out and clean it?
Well, they eventually, but they're they're not.
Yeah, talk to my insurance company.
Probably, yeah, you're right. But it's,
Wow.
But it's a kick, But
See any sharks?
no, but near us, we're next to Chatham, and there were rumors again because Chatham has the seals over there, quite a bit of them, and that's where the
That's where the
sharks.
sharks are.
They go where the food is.
I told my wife not to go in the water because she hasn't been in 3 years, so I don't know why I even said it to her. I went in.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm tough.
You're brave.
Yeah,
that's right.
come on.
You take
yeah.
on the sharks.
No, but
No.
there's a
you know how it works.
there's
It's real
almost like
simple.
a barrier.
If you're 50 feet from shore,
Yeah, yeah.
you just go when there's people who are 60 and 70 feet from shore.
Right.
because sharks are lazy. They'll eat the first person that comes along, and you'll have time to get out of the water.
No, well,
Don't go to a desolate beach where you're the only
one.
one in the
That's right.
water. That's
That's
what
no.
the opening scene of Jaws, which 5 cable TV channels ran this weekend because it's Labor Day weekend. The opening scene of Jaws with the lady and
right.
stuff like she's
She's
swimming
all
alone.
That's right.
Which you're always taught never do it in the first place.
but you come out with that. I actually didn't see a lot of people in the water.
No?
Because
No,
even
it-
at night, the sharks, the sharks can see well up. If you have any moon whatsoever, or any kind of lights from the town, the sharks can see up into the waves above them very easily, very accurately. And this is what happens when the sun goes down. The little tiny plankton can rise to the surface. Then the things that eat the plankton go up high into the water column up near the surface. And then the little fishies, and then the bigger fishies. And then
the
before you
sharks.
know it, you're talking full-blown sharks and stuff.
Well, down there, I think that they have enough to eat with the seals.
Yeah,
so,
that's right.
Yeah, they may be
That's what they say.
satiated, right.
yeah.
All right, time for the forecast right now, and
Or
this weather
sated, I think they
forecast
say it
being
now.
brought to you by Bank of America.
Day, then gradually becoming sunny with a high of 79 degrees and a breeze from the north. Tonight, clear, overnight low of 47. Tuesday's weather, sunshine in 72. Wednesday, sunshine in 77. Thursday, sunshine in 78. Friday, mostly sunny in 77. Saturday, a 50-50 chance of rain, mostly cloudy skies in 73. And a little less chance of a shower, partial sunshine on Sunday with a high of 73.
Currently outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street under partly sunny skies, we have 71 degrees.
Bank of America has powerful digital solutions for local and global businesses, so you can make every move matter. Visit this website, bankofamerica.com/banking for business, to learn more. Bank of America, N.A., copyright 2024.
The right price for protection, you just know it. It's that warm, fuzzy, totally secure feeling, knowing that you're not only getting great coverage, but you're also not paying too much for it. And when it comes to your insurance, there's no one better at getting the right price for your protection than Allstate agents Kara and Celeste Benjamin, because they know when it comes to your bank account, every penny counts towards something bigger, something better. Like a nicer car, that home update you've been dreaming of, or a phone that's fresh out of the box. Those little or big things that we work so hard for. And Kara and Celeste Benjamin want to help you work a little less by getting you the coverage you need and the savings you deserve when you switch to Allstate. Contact Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, 2 locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. 765-5000 for a free quote today. Allstate, you're in good hands. And you're in good hands with Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. Savings vary based on the average annual savings reported by new auto customers surveyed in 2019 who switched to Allstate.
Lou Mandeville here to tell you the only place to get your local high school and college scores, as well as the Pats, Bruins, Celtics, and Sox is on My Morning Sports Reports. And they are right here on ON 1240, Monday through Friday on the Morning Fun Show.
Hi, this is Chief Thomas Oates of the Woonsocket Police Department. I'm just here to remind you that beginning on Tuesday morning, the Truman Bypass southbound into the Social Street area will be closed. The bypass route for that off of Vernon Street will be to Main Street, and traffic will be diverted through Main Street through the downtown area to continue into Social Street. On the southbound side, during this construction period, shall remain open at all times, but will be reduced to 1 lane during the construction period. The speeds will be reduced. We ask for people to use patience when traveling in or out of the city at any of those times.
It's Coffee In on ON AM and FM. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here with Dave Richards and Bill Murray. And our thanks to Chief Oates that did the little PSA for us.
That's tomorrow morning
and the
at
fun
6
begins
o'clock.
tomorrow, Bill, here in the city.
On a bypass near you.
You know the roundabout that we have here? And,
Yeah.
Okay. And you can go in both directions?
Yeah.
Starting tomorrow? Nope. No. They're building a linear park bike path thing.
Oh.
So
They're reducing the size of
yeah.
Truman Drive by half. We have two lane
Yeah.
with a divider in the middle. two lanes going what they call north, although if you looked at it on a map, it's more west than east. But so as I don't get anyone confused, going north toward Social from Vernon,
Right.
and then they have two coming back from Social toward Vernon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And but what's going to end up happening is you're going to have the two that are going south now, because it's two lanes. One's going to go north, one's going to go south, because you don't need 4 lanes to bypass Main Street anymore because it's a two-way road. It took them 20 years to figure that out, but that's it. But when they built it, they had land and they made it 4 lanes to make it so cool that people wouldn't go on Main Street.
Mm-hmm.
And they were so successful in that dozens of businesses on Main Street left or went out of business.
Oh, yeah, they're vacant.
You know.
Yeah.
But now the comeuppance, because the bypass for the Main Street bypass is Main Street.
Can you follow that?
Oh, I see.
Main Street is the Main Street bypass.
Oh. Now they got new business. I had a meeting with the mayor on something had to do with our contract with them, my company, and I hadn't been over there in a while, and it looks like there's like 2 or 3 new buildings have been fixed up, and I guess new business in there
all the
now.
buildings that
Is
could
there
have been
more?
fixed up have been fixed up.
Okay.
Some of them were rented out right away, and some of them weren't because
Oh, I see.
they tried to amortize the cost of the renovations over the first few tenants, and they didn't get tenants. These are people who don't understand the idea of investing in a building. These are people who just okay, numbers crunching. Because Bill, I explained this to somebody the other day. People say, Dave, geez, you only got 1 station instead of like 5 or 10 stations or something like that. I says, well, that's because I'm a broadcaster. If I were a businessman, I'd own 5 or 6 stations, all under one roof, and some of them are running satellite all day, and some of them are running news talk.
Spread out.
Right, and some of them are running, right. So we would do that, but I've never been that kind of a businessman because it's so easy to run a business when all you do is look at numbers. You don't serve the community. You're not on mission, unless your mission is making as much money as you can and then cashing it in for yourself.
That's when you own a business. That's what you should be doing.
Well, no, not necessarily. It depends on why you own a business.
To make money.
I bought this place. I bought.
You enjoyed it.
In 1990, I bought this place because they were going to put it on a satellite out of Colorado.
Oh, okay.
And it wouldn't be local anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I bought. Me and 21 of my closest friends all put our money into a pot because I didn't have much.
Mm-hmm.
And we all put our money into a pot and we bought the place. And I was elected the operator because I'd worked here for so many years.
Yep.
So, but that's what happened in 1990.
Yep.
And our purpose was to serve the public as a public trustee.
For local news.
For everything.
No,
local broadcasting.
Yeah, right.
Because people do not live on news and talk alone. It's a variety, and that's why we put a variety on, and we have the news on. But you don't spend all day listening to the news. You got to be a little unbalanced, in my opinion, to listen to news all day. You might listen for a few minutes here, a few minutes there, a few minutes there. Fine, that's what we put on the air. A few minutes here, a few minutes there, a few minutes down the road. All right, so, but it's, in my experience, it is so easy to run a business for a profit. Because when that's your mentality, if it's not making the right amount of profit, you just shut it down and build something else.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a lot of work. You just show up every day, make decisions that hurt people, and no big deal. You walk away because it doesn't hurt you. But when you own something for a mission, when you're trying to execute a mission, you temper some of that financial activity.
Right.
And so that's where it really gets to be some work.
Well, I mean, I've been involved in business, so I know.
Sure.
I know that it's all, and especially we were eventually bought out by a public company. You want to really see something happen. Deal with a public company. We had a company that was owned by 2 guys who were very successful, became millionaires, and they knew how to run a business. And then we get bought out by this public company that all that went was by the numbers and sell stock. Yeah. And the whole and they eventually went bankrupt. And because they wanted a certain way to make money, and it wasn't the way you run the
It
business.
was off mission, and
Exactly.
when you lost your
That's the
mission,
perfect
you
word.
lost your
Yep.
direction.
Yep.
Your employees aren't all pulling in the same direction. Your
Correct.
efficiency goes down to nothing.
Yep. Yep. But they had a.
This
pla-
is a
they-
natural thing. You're a
they had
venture
a plan.
capitalist. Watch this with venture capitalists.
Absolutely.
When they come in, they can make the top people very rich, but the rest of the people are
You're-
going to lose their
Oh,
jobs.
I've seen it many times.
So Dave's very concerned about the two hospitals, Stewart
Oh,
Healthcare
yeah.
hospitals.
They're going to be back in the
uh,
news.
in Massachusetts, the one in Brockton, and there's one somewhere else. Those are the two that were bought by the private equity firms.
Yeah.
Because watch what
Well,
happens
you'll-
to Good Samaritan and
Well,
the other
I'm-
one.
I think you know I'm on the Blue Cross Blue Shield board of directors.
Mm-hmm.
So we've had a lot of conversation because Landmark bought two of the Stewart hospitals.
No, Lifespan.
I mean Lifespan.
St.
Sorry,
Anne's and
you're
Fall
right.
River and Morton
Right.
and Taunton.
And so,
And Blue
you
Cross is
see,
concerned?
you see what, huh?
Is Blue Cross concerned in Rhode Island?
Well, I would think,
It's a different company in Massachusetts.
it's new.
Yeah.
They have to watch it because, I mean, just being on the board is there's a lot of things happening in medical, however you want to put it, is that between pharmacy, lack of doctors and nurses, that's probably two of your biggest problems right now, is the lack of doctors that are not staying, that are moving on because they're not getting paid enough. I'm supposed to have some cataract surgery at the VA. Now this is the VA. This would happen in June when they told me. You know when my appointment is? February 1st.
December? Oh, okay.
February
Wow,
1st.
That far off.
Only because they can't get enough doctors
You
and
can't
whatnot.
get
They
good
can't
labor if
no,
you don't
no.
treat your labor right.
And I'll go back to it because my son was involved, ruined his career in hockey, socialized medicine. And if you watch things, you better hope that we don't go in that direction because socialized medicine is even worse because good doctors don't stay around. They leave, and I knew it not just from my son, but in Canada I had a guy I dealt with in business who had cancer. He moved lock, stock, and barrel from Canada to the U.S. to get better
Healthcare.
treatment. And you look at it, I've read stories that like England and socialized medicine. Hospitals are a mess, dirty, the whole bit. And you can see it now. As we talk a lot about it at Blue Cross, is the fact that, these good doctors are not staying around because you're not paying them. And if they don't, and then you go to these private doctors, like my doctor that I deal with, he's working hours and hours and hours, and he says, I'm not gaining anything. I'm just working a lot, and he's probably in his 60s, young man, based on 60, but I'm sure he'll get between 65 and 70 and pack it in.
Of course.
And
Mine just did.
yeah, yeah. Well, you see it all the time, and I think that's where it's serious.
That's the
Besides
fifth
cost.
doctor I outlive.
Huh?
That's the fifth doctor I outlive.
I've done 4 at the VA, so I'm almost close to you. Yeah.
So this man in Lincoln, Mohammed Barra, he owns the Four Seas pawn shop in Providence, and he's alleged to have bought 108 stolen 18-karat gold rings that he's not an alleged UPS driver, but a UPS employee was bringing to him to buy. The UPS driver's stealing them.
Back up a couple of steps here, Joe.
All right.
The UPS driver has this consignment of rings worth $380,000.
$378,000.
$378,000, and they're 18 rings, 12-karat gold.
No, 108 stolen
108
18-karat rings.
18 carats, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And he was
So
stealing
he's
them.
got these in a
Yes,
box,
the UPS guy was stealing them.
right? He's got these in a box, and it's addressed to a place in Providence.
Jewelry store.
He doesn't deliver it to the Providence jewelry store.
He brings them to the pawn
Instead,
shop.
he steals it, brings it to a pawn shop.
Which
and
is
this-
the guy from Lincoln.
Right.
Yes.
And this guy
I get you.
buys them all.
Yeah, but for how much?
12,000 something?
$13,000. They were $378. Here's 13.
Oh my God!
So and this is what the pawn shop guy does.
Mm-hmm.
You know, brand new in the box. They were on their way to another jewelry store, but so
the jewelry store's got to say,
very,
hey,
very
we never
difficult.
got our stuff.
It's very difficult to imagine that a red flag would not have gone off in the mind of the guy in Lincoln that ran this pawn shop.
No, if I had to guess, he doesn't care. He sees the money.
Well, if
he
you
sees
have a
the
guess.
money, and that's how these guys work.
But well, that's how criminals work anyway.
Well,
And
I didn't call him a criminal.
And you can
I
understand.
don't want to be sued.
Some people would probably jump to the conclusion that if someone ran a pawn shop, then they may be a little bit on the outskirts of the law.
Yep.
Or they certainly know people who are. Because that's been the common reputation handed down from years to years, although we know pawn shop owners that are really on the up and up. They go so far out of their way to comply with all laws and make sure that they're actually just providing a loan service for people with collateral. And that's really what it was supposed to be about.
But if you're bringing in one ring,
Well,
okay,
that'd
actually
be one
maybe
thing.
you can get away with it. But if one person's bringing in 108 kinds of the same ring, something's up.
It has to
Brand
trigger
new in the
something.
box.
So what confuses me is, how is it packaged that this guy knew the rings were there?
Maybe just because I'm supposed to deliver this to a jewelry store.
Well,
Maybe he doesn't even know what's in it.
Yeah.
But it's going to, I can't think of a jewelry store in Providence, but
Well, I
it's
would
gotta be,
imagine
gotta be something good. Why don't you
that
take a look at
a
this?
UPS driver who's driving a truck, I would imagine, has some box sealing tape on board in case
Oh,
something
yeah.
gets busted open.
Yeah.
They can seal it. During the course of wear and tear in the business and stuff like that, and what they're in. So I imagine he might have looked, said,
I can make
and
some
then
money here.
reseal the box.
Yeah.
If he was going to deliver it, and said, nah, I don't think I'll reseal it.
All right, the man from Lincoln, Barra, he's due back for a pre-arraignment hearing in November.
So in the meantime, he's got a target on his back.
Is 4C's pawn shop still open?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't think probably.
Probably not.
Right now, it's probably temporarily closed, but it could be official. If you look back, how about the story of all the thefts in the post office?
Oh, well, you know what that is.
Just
Happening all over.
Same thing, yeah. I mean, it's very similar, not as big as this.
All right, we're going to take a break here in the Coffee and program, but more coming your way. Stay tuned.
Encounter motorcycles on the road every day, and motorcycle safety is a two-way street. So give motorcycles extra space when stopping and starting. Check your mirrors and blind spots. Share the road, but never try and share a lane. Every rider could be a father, a son or a brother, a mother, a daughter or a sister, or the whole world to someone very special. Brought to you by the Rhode Island Police Chiefs Association and the Rhode Island Broadcasters Association.
And now, to benefit the 2024 Autumn Fest celebration, it's Autumn Fest Comedy Night.
When a teacher's most annoying, when they get testy.
Well, I can see we're going to have to bring the professionals in on this one. And folks, if you want to see true professional local comedians for a good cause, then come to the Autumn Fest Comedy Fundraiser, Friday, September 6th at the Woonsocket Elks Hall, 380 Social Street, Woonsocket. This is an 18-plus event. Doors open at 5 and the show starts at 6. Light snacks will be available along with a cash bar and lots of yucks. There'll be raffles, silent auctions, and door prizes. Tickets to the Autumn Fest Comedy Fundraiser are $30 per person. Purchase tickets online at this website, funny4funds.com. Bugged Out Barbecue will have their food truck in the parking lot starting at 5 p.m. for your edification. Come on out to the Autumn Fest Comedy Fundraiser, Friday night, September 6th at the Woonsocket Elks Hall, 380 Social Street, Woonsocket. Doors open at 5, and the food starts at 5, too.
You can depend on us for public service, ON Radio.
It is Coffee In here on ON AM and FM. Thanks for joining us on Labor Day. This is Joe Callahan here with Dave Richards.
We're live.
We are live. And former Mayor Cumberland Bill Murray's with us as well. Well,
what are we going to talk about now, Uncle Joe?
A New Jersey judge has ruled that smoking can continue in the Atlantic City casinos.
Exactly.
Do they still allow them at Bally's? Can you still smoke in there?
I
At Twin River?
Well, I know
I believe
there's been
so.
a big argument. Yes, I think you're right.
At the table games.
Yep.
Okay.
But they have an entire floor that they have cleaned up and put in special filtering where you cannot smoke.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that was the top floor.
and it wasn't really the best situation because smoke rises, but it was the top floor. Still, it was vastly more clean of contaminants in the air than the other areas were. But I know that it was key when they opened up the table games that they put the table games where the smoking was allowed.
So the move in New Jersey marks a win for the struggling casino industry there. They're still trying to get back to pre-COVID-19 numbers, but the ruling marks a major setback. Casino workers who had brought the lawsuit saying they want the ban. They wanted the ban for the last 4 years because of health reasons.
Yeah,
They don't want to be sucking in the smoke.
I would think so.
Casino officials argue preventing smoking would cost millions in revenue. Representatives for the casino workers have promised they will appeal this ruling. I thought the workers down in Lincoln did that as well.
They
Had some kind of lawsuit.
They did have something, but they still, I think so. I think Dave's right. I think they still have. I don't think they won, and they still have some areas that you can smoke.
Yeah.
Question: Do you people see a lot of people still smoking? I do.
Not much anymore.
The
Well,
only
not
place-
like it used to, but I'm saying
No.
I'm
Right.
still surprised.
Most of the time that I see people smoking are in their cars.
Oh,
If I'm
okay.
stopped at a light and then you look in your rearview
See
mirror
the
or just
smoke
look
coming
next
out,
door,
yeah.
you still see it in their fingers. And they're still holding them. Like, I guess they've been regulated. No one can tell them no in their own car. So that's where you see it. Out on the road, just like walking down the street, not too much there.
They tried to pass a law so if there was a kid in the car, you couldn't smoke in your car.
Is that right?
They tried to pass that law.
Yeah,
I don't think
that-
it was
I
successful.
don't remember that one flying.
Only
through the
because
air.
they figured they couldn't police it.
They can't police people not being on your cell phone in your car. You still see that all the
That's very
time.
difficult.
Holding it up to your
Oh, yeah,
head. It's
yeah.
like, wow. So, but in
Well-
terms of people smoking, the only place to see is if they're standing outside a restaurant, outside and then down
That's
a little
why.
ways.
That's why I asked the question. Because
see it
again,
there.
being on the Cape, a couple of places I noticed people outside.
Yeah.
Because obviously they can't do it inside. But what I did see, which was surprising, and these were young people, those vapor, what do they call them?
Just vapes.
The
Yeah. and
vapes.
Vape cigarettes. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you could see it,
Oh yeah.
and they were all young. They had to be, I'd say, under 30 and under, and quite a bit of it.
It's still very big amongst the college kids because they don't think it's going to hurt them later in
Yeah.
life. And
Being addicted to anything hurts you later in life.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
but they just don't. Nah, this is just.
And they're addicted
it's-
to the
it's-
nicotine.
It's water vapor, and everything's fine.
Yeah.
Like, you haven't gotten all the facts.
No. Well, they don't want to hear the facts.
Oh, no.
That's the
There's
problem.
less tars, but
Okay. Yeah. All
But
we know
it's-
is it tastes good and I
it's-
like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
it's still something that nature didn't provide going
Yeah.
into your body.
All right.
Well, the biggest mistake was that we allowed these vapor stores to open up, because I had one in
Oh, yeah.
Cumberland.
Smoke shops. Yeah.
Still there, the smoke shops. We tried to block it, and we couldn't. We
You
were
can't, right?
legally warned, don't do it because they're going to take you to court. And there's still. I think there's one or two in Cumberland, but the first one that was set up.
So what's in your opinion then, Bill? What's worse, the smoke shops that offer the selling of the vaping products, or legalized marijuana?
I would think the legalized marijuana
Is worse?
Well, I think it is because of the addiction to it. Well, I guess the vapor is an addiction too.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
There's more contaminants in smoking weed than there is on the vapes.
I was
The
just going
vapes,
to say,
yeah.
well,
More contaminants.
that would be my guess, but vapor. It's just. I think both of them are. I'm very
Pretty bad.
fortunate in my family. And none of my kids or even my grandkids do either one.
Smart.
So yeah.
Smart.
So I'm.
Well, there was, back in the 60s, there was a famous comedy sketch. Right now, I'm having a hard time remember and if, whether it was like a Bill Cosby or a Smothers Brothers, but it might have been Bob Newhart, where he was talking. We were doing one of his telephone bits, and he's got Sir Walter Raleigh on the line, and he's over in England, right? And the Sir Walter Raleigh is calling back to say, "Hey, look at what we found over here in the Americas."
Well, it does sound like Bob Newhart.
Right? Yeah. So you do what? You build a big pile of leaves, you set it on fire, and then you breathe the smoke. Yeah, I'd work on this one a little. I don't think that's going to catch on at all. Because logically, why would you ever want to do
right.
that?
I know, it
Take a
sounds
big
so dumb.
pile of leaves, set it on fire, and then breathe the smoke.
Not the air. Yeah.
Gee whiz. That's what they did.
Yeah, back smoking, I remember.
We grew up in a time when everybody was smoking.
My father was a newspaper man,
Yeah.
and his hands, I hate to say it, he died at 56.
Yeah.
A lot of it had to do with that.
With tar-stained hands.
It was all yellow. His
Yellow.
hands were all yellow. Chesterfields, I remember it.
Oh, yeah.
He'd get out of bed and wouldn't even put his
Immediately.
feet, laid
Light
up,
up?
sit at the side of his bed. I remember it
Wow.
as a kid watching it. And then my wife, I hate to tell family stories, but my wife, we moved to Cumberland. And I never found this out till later on. She was such a bad smoker. The kids would say, "Mom, don't smoke in the car," and she didn't, because she'd listen to the kids. But I found out she used to, 11, 12 o'clock at night, drive to Woonsocket to get a pack of cigarettes. I never found this out till,
Wow.
She never told me,
Did she drive to Woonsocket because she didn't know anybody that was selling the cigarettes?
No, there
to
was
her?
nobody open.
No.
Oh, no one in Cumberland. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, so she drove to Woonsocket.
You needed
and
an
get her-
all-night
they
shop.
needed it.
I see.
And then her son, Michael, talked to the middle school, was big on stop smoking, and
Right.
he told her, and she was a big smoker, and he said, "Mom, just do it this day." And then the next day he said, "Do it one more day, Dad." Mom, and she did.
Eventually it worked.
She kicked the habit many years ago. Thank God.
Nicotine is tough.
Yeah. Well, she.
Kick.
You
Your kids would tell you, when I went to school at Cumberland High, there were
Oh.
smoking areas for the students.
Right. I remember.
Like 3 or 4 of them.
That was not allowed when I grew up.
Yeah.
Someone,
no.
I forgot who, somewhere in my junior year, they said, why are we allowing this for the students to go out and smoke? Now, for us non-smokers, we were like, great, because that's where they all went. I go, what you've done is you've drove them inside.
Right.
Now they're smoking in the bathrooms. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now you got to police them to have them not smoke in the
I
bathrooms.
remember
So-
I remember Dick Lynch as a principal.
Yes, he was.
Who
at the time.
Dick was living. He didn't smoke.
Oh,
I
he
knew
was
him
an
well.
athlete.
Yeah, no, and he didn't smoke. None of my kids, and everybody was livid about it because they literally couldn't go in the bathrooms. There'd be so much smoke in
Yeah.
there. Then they were worried about a fire.
Oh, I bet.
So
Yeah.
they had a lot of issues back.
There was always the.
You know how things were different back in the 60s and 70s. Society was different back then.
Yep.
And when I was going to high school, if they caught you with a pack of Marlboros on you, your parents were brought in.
Really?
Those are the old days.
Right. If you
Wow.
were in
Yeah.
possession of cigarettes, your parents were brought in to out you to your
Okay.
parents.
Yeah.
And that was enough to stop some kids from even having them on them.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, that wasn't an issue when I was in
Yeah.
school
Then
at all.
then there was the kind who were going to be with you for a year or so and then being off to Sauconasset University. They had the smokes. The parents were brought in, didn't do any good, and they kept the smokes on them all the time. And I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't light up in school
Give it back
too.
to them.
Well, the deal is, these are folks that eventually graduated from Sauconasset University, not from Laurelville High School.
Yeah. No, it's.
I think people get my inference on that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, I think so. I would think so.
The other health issue amongst the young kids, and I'm having trouble with my daughter on this one. She likes the Monster Energy drinks,
Oh, God.
and there's a ton of those
My
on the
daughter
market.
just got
Ton of
sick on those.
I go, that's it. I go, this stuff is not good for you.
Right.
Is this supposed to keep them awake or something?
Well, that helps. It gives you
Well,
small energy. Yeah.
You know
Yeah,
what
I really-
caffeine does.
I
It
don't
keeps you
know.
on edge.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
it keeps you sharp.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
For
Stay
a
awake.
while, and then
Study.
you crash.
Right.
Yeah. Stay awake. Study more.
Yeah.
And then take the test. And,
then you
that's right.
still
Then you're
get-
gonna crash.
Right.
I go, this.
And you can get those anywhere.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they're
any supermarket, any
yeah.
convenience
No,
store.
I've seen them in
They're everywhere, and there's
some
so
of them.
different varieties.
But up
It's-
until the
boy.
1920s, you could get cocaine anywhere.
That's right.
That's well,
And marijuana, for that matter.
All right, that's going to do it for
Only
the
been
show for
illegal
today.
for 100 years. Well, 90 maybe.
That'll do it for today. Thank you very much for listening in on this Labor Day. We hope you have a great Labor Day for today, and we'll be back again tomorrow with another edition of Coffee M. Bill Murray, thanks for coming in today.
thank you. Thanks for having me, and it's always a pleasure.
Appreciate it as always. And Dave, thanks for kicking around as well.
Great to see Bill here.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'll see you tomorrow morning on the radio.
Absolutely. Stay tuned. We do have At the Library with Leslie Page and Food First with Karen Zangari coming up next, and the Tiki Bar tonight at 6 here on ON Radio. Anything else, Dave?
No.
Nope, that's it. Very good.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news. Police in Warwick have arrested a suspect after a Saturday night fireworks incident outside a movie theater. The Apple Cinemas on Bald Hill Road was evacuated after 27-year-old Justin Crespo allegedly set off fireworks next to the exterior wall of the building, and the sounds were mistaken for gunfire. Crespo was found shortly after the incident and taken into custody. Police say he admitted to setting off the fireworks, didn't think it was any big deal, and he's been released from custody pending a court date on charges that include possession of and display of aerial consumer fireworks. Offshore wind company Ørsted is expanding its U.S. co-headquarters in Rhode Island. The expansion plan includes its new U.S. engineering, procurement, and construction hub in the Ocean State. Ørsted will move from its longtime Exchange Terrace location to a larger 17,470 square foot location at 500 Exchange Street in downtown Providence. The company